Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Alfa Maulana, and on this occasion, I will deliver a keynote speech by positioning myself as the Minister of Environment and Forestry of the Republic of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honorable colleagues, and all fellow citizens. Let me begin by offering our highest praise and gratitude to Almighty God for His continuous blessings and guidance that have allowed us to gather today in good health and shared purpose. It is truly a privilege to be part of this important forum, one that brings together visionaries, environmentalists, policymakers, youth leaders, educators, and professionals from various backgrounds. We come together with one common mission to reflect on the current state of our planet, to address the challenges we face, and to act collectively and decisively for the future of Indonesia and the world. I am standing here not only as public official but as a citizen of this nation who feels deeply responsible for the legacy we are shaping for the generations that will come after us. The environment is not a matter of technical policy or abstract science alone. It is a matter of life. It is the foundation of our well being, our economy, our food security, our health, and ultimately our dignity as a nation. We live in a time of tremendous environmental uncertainty across the globe. The signs are clear. Heat waves have broken historical records. Wildfires are devouring forests once thought resilient. Sea levels are rising, displacing communities along our coast. Freshwater scarcity is affecting billions. Biodiversity, the increased a web of life is unraveling faster than ever before in human history. These are not distant headlines, they are realities unfolding before our very eyes. Indonesia, with its vast natural wealth and strategic ecological position, finds itself at a unique crossroads. We are among the most biodiverse countries on Earth, blessed with lush tropical rainforests, expansive mangroves, and vibrant coral reefs. These ecosystems provide invaluable services not only to Indonesians but to the entire planet. Our forests absorb millions of tons of carbon dioxide each year. Our seas are nurseries for global marine biodiversity. Our wetlands store treasure are underneath, and protecting them is not a choice, it is a necessity. That is why, as Minister of Environment and Forestry, I want to reaffirm our national commitment to addressing climate change and environmental degradation with bold and strategic action. Indonesia has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas emission by 31.89% unconditionally and by up to 43% with international support by the year 2030. These commitments are aligned with the Paris Agreement and reflect our desire to remain not just compliant but proactive in shaping a sustainable global future. Our approach has been comprehensive. We have imposed a moratorium on new license for the conversion of primary forests and wetlands. We have rehabilitated millions of hectares of degraded island. We are restoring our mangrove ecosystems, which act as carbon sinks and protect coastal communities. And importantly, We are empowering local communities through the social forestry program, giving them legal access to manage forests sustainably while improving their livelihoods. We are also proud to report that Indonesia has significantly reduced its deforestation rate, reaching the lowest level in the past 2 decades. This did not happen by chance. It required reform, enforcement, community engagement, technological innovation, and international cooperation. It required the courage to say no to business as usual practices and the discipline to design policies rooted in data and fairness. Yet, we must be honest with ourselves. These achievements, while meaningful, are not the end of the journey. Climate change is accelerating. The demands on our land and natural resources continue to grow. Therefore, we must act with greater urgency, with more coordination, and with a deeper sense of shared responsibility. I want to especially speak to the youth of Indonesia, to the students, the innovators, the content creators, the young professionals who are questioning the status quo and dreaming of a greener future. You are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of today. Your voices matter, your choices matter, and your actions are already shaping the trajectory of this country. We are witnessing a rising wave of youth led environmental movements. Young Indonesians are building vast banks in their communities. They are developing apps to monitor air pollution. They are leading beach cleanups, reforestation drives, and climate education campaigns. Many of them are pushing the policies that prioritize long term sustainability over short term profit. This is the kind of courage and creativity we need, and the government stands ready to support and partner with you. In parallel, we are undergoing a broader transformation toward a green economy. We envision an Indonesia that thrives not by exploiting nature, but by living in harmony with it. Our development strategy now integrates low carbon planning. We are expanding our renewable energy mix, improving our public transport systems, reforming land use, and incentivizing industries that reduce emissions and promote circular resource use. This transition will not be without challenges. It requires substantial investment, innovation, and political will, but it also offers massive opportunities, new green jobs, healthier cities, sustainable agriculture, and global leadership in carbon trading and nature based solutions. Indonesia has the potential to become a model of how developing nations can grow without destroying their natural capital. However, no government effort will succeed in isolation. We need strong partnerships across all sectors. The private sector must commit to ethical, sustainable business practices. The financial sector must direct capital toward green investments. Universities must prepare a new generation of environmental stewards. The media must continue the raise awareness and hold all us accountable. And civil society must remain active, critical, and engaged. Above all, we must work together across political boundaries, across economic interests, across generations. Environmental protection is not a partisan issue, it is a human issue. The climate crisis does not differentiate between rich and poor, between urban and rural, between island or provinces. Its impacts are shared and so must be our solutions. Allow me now, at this moment of reflection, to ask all of us a simple but urgent question. What kind of earth do we wish to leave behind? Will our legacy be one of extraction, pollution, and extinction? Or will we be remembered as a generation that chose restoration, justice, and regeneration? We are the stewards of a breathtakingly beautiful archipelago. We are the guardians of the lungs of the world. We are the keepers of traditions that have long respected the balance of nature. Let us not forget who we are. Let us not forget what we owe to our ancestors, to our children, and to every living being that shares this planet with us. So today, I invite you, whether you are a policymaker, an educator, a student, a parent, a farmer, or an entrepreneur, to take action. Start where you are. Reduce your carbon footprint, protect your forests, be mindful of your consumption, educate those around you, advocate for responsible policies, and most importantly, never underestimate your ability to make a difference. Together, we can build a future where Indonesian skies remain blue, our waters remain clean, our forests remain alive, and our people thrive in dignity and resilience. Together, we can turn the tide not just for Indonesia, but the world. Thank you for your attention. May we be guided by wisdom, strength, and unity in building an Indonesia that sustainably inclusive and green. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.